Very Dark Man was arrested and everybody cried out that he should be set free. Right. Very Dark Man should be set free. But is this all to it? No. It is not all to it. And if you are just coming across this video, I want you to stay with this video at least for 30 seconds, okay? Because I believe there are other intentions, okay? There are other plans against Very Dark Man in Nigeria. And every other person that found themselves in that kind of a position of Very Dark Man in Nigeria, every one of them going to be hunted for. Because the reason why they are going to be hunted for, it is for the common reason that every African are now trying to come together to build one Africa. And this idea of one Africa, it is not coming from the old folks of Africa, the old leaders. This idea is coming. It is coming out from the young generation. So there are going to be a lot of this kind of arrest in Africa, not just in Nigeria. There are going to be a lot of the kind of insecurity against the young people in Africa. Okay, so my analysis about why they arrest Very Dark Man in that kind of a manner, it is because they want to get rid of him totally. Because a Very Dark Man in Nigeria who have had the idea of Africans or Nigerians should benefit from our resources, fair justice, fair trials, if it remains there and collude with the ideas and the ideology of Ibrahim Touré of Burkina Faso, there's going to be a massive movement in Africa. So how would the government or the people, the old leaders of that country, sit there and allow a young man like Very Dark Man to gain that kind of a prestige and to gain that kind of a ground against them? While it is true that the revolution of one Africa, it is for the benefit of Africa, we should not forget that all leaders who might have been enslaved by their colonial masters, that they only believe the only way that Africa or Africans can survive is through their colonial masters, which is an external world. Okay, people who control them. Those people will not agree for them to be out of power. Ibrahim Touré of Burkina Faso, okay, setting the record. Very Dark Man was in this path. The only difference that there is, Very Dark Man, he is not a military person, okay, and he has always been among the civilians. For Ibrahim Touré, he was successful with a coup, a president. So he have the voice, and he have the platform, and he have the men, okay, the authority to do much more that people can yield him in Africa. But Very Dark Man have been on this path long ago. He's going to be suppressed, okay, much more than this. And the kind of a suppression going to go across Africa. Every human rights activist should be mindful. They're going to go through a tough time in Africa because their colonial masters, I mean the colonial master of our old folks, or people of 80, 90 years who are president or who are in government position, will not agree that a young people of 30, like Burkina Faso president, controls them. They believe that young people are unserious, okay? That every good thing will only be done when old folks are president or are ministers and what have you. So the idea of young generation coming out to say, we want one Africa, would be one of the motives why they will use different strategies to get Very Dark Man out of the picture. Because if we have like 10 Very Dark Men in Nigeria, okay, and then collaborating with Ibrahim Touré, then let's say we have another 5 Very Dark Men in Uganda, in Uganda, okay, we have another 5 Very Dark Men in other African nations. So if Africa will be successful with this movement, okay, with the movement now in Africa for one nation, for one Africa, for one people, there should be some actions taken against all leaders, all governance, okay? Because their colonial masters want to use them against the young people to suppress them. If we will succeed as one Africa, one people, we will not succeed if the old folks and young people of 80, 90 years keep on suppressing us through the militaries, through the police, through the security system. We will not succeed, okay? Imagine the arrest Very Dark Man. Everybody on Facebook free Very Dark Man. There should be some actions taken immediately. Let's say they arrest Very Dark Man. After 30 minutes, EFCC office or their headquarters, let there be 500,000 of Nigerians, less than 30 minutes, to gather before that place, demanding that Very Dark Man be free instantly. Before they make up their mind, another state, another million people gather. These actions will speak louder than just being on Facebook free Very Dark Man. because this is a battle against the external world and a battle within. The old leaders within Africa will not agree that the idea of young people that says one Africa be successful. When it is successful, where will they be? Who will they be? People will now build trust in young leaders than old leaders. So the old leaders know that they will never have the power, or they will never have the chance to come back into power. Imagine if you have, for example, you have 50 countries in Africa, for example, or 60 countries. Out of 60 countries, 40 have young leaders of 35 to 40. Okay? Do you think that the old leaders are going to be happy with this? They won't be happy with it. So this is a clear attempt to suppress the voice of very dark man, number one, to suppress the ideology of Ibrahim Touré of Burkina Faso, number two. And the ideology of very dark man is the same as the ideology of the president of Burkina Faso. That our resources should be used by us, controlled by us. We should be able to serve every citizen rights and equal. This is the same ideology that Africa is not gravitating toward. Okay? So the colonial master of our old generation want to use the same old generation against the young people, even though the old people know that if Africa is free, every one of them going to enjoy. But who will be the front runner? It has to always be them. If it is not them, then we don't have a better Africa, they think in their mind. Because that's how their colonial masters taught them that things will only be successful when old people who are now forgetful, who is drawing closer to the days of their God, who is drawing closer to eternity, can be a leader. So please, there are more intention of the security forces and the government of that country that arrest very dark man, that they want to get rid of every activist. Okay, and this gonna be more in Africa in this time. There's gonna be more in Africa. Every country of Africa going to experience the kind of a thing. Okay, so if we want the young people to be protected, let there be a specified actions to advocate for young people, whether you love them or not. When they are arrested, when they are targeted, go after their well-being, go after their freedom. It's not just being on Facebook. Let people gather in the massive with no planned protest. There were no announced protest. They arrested very dark man. What are you on Facebook? Yes, everybody. In fact, the next day or the day before the next day, there's supposed to be tons of Nigerians, if possible millions of Nigerians gather in the street corners to the police headquarters, demanding that very dark man be free. With that, the colonial master of those people will be afraid. That even the people who want to take command from them will be afraid. Okay? Okay? So please, you can share this video and drop your comment. Okay? My name is Joseph, and I'm always here to bring some critical analysis about things around our continent and the world. Because this is Global Love TV. We are all over the globe. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Share the video.